Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Manya, and I'm on a lifelong journey to be the best, healthiest, and live the longest that I possibly can. Today, I want to talk to you about changing your palate to change your life. Now, one of the things that a lot of us struggle with initially when we're trying to lose weight is how not to eat the foods that we used to love, primarily high fat, high processed, good mouthfeel, delicious, produced in a lab foods. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the chips, cookies, pretzels, donuts, cakes and cookies, all of those things that really are engineered and manufactured to just zing us and make us feel temporarily really happy and satisfied. They're also manufactured to make us want to eat more and more and more until the bag is empty. When you start to move away from those kind of foods initially and into more whole, unprocessed foods, those new foods are probably going to taste bland to you. That's because the processed foods just have so much sugar, salt, fat, flavor, fake flavor infused into them that real unprocessed food doesn't taste as strongly and therefore taste bland. It takes a long time to change your palate, but I want to encourage you to stick with it and to try, because once you do change your palate, it makes it much easier to resist eating those foods because frankly, they don't taste as good. They taste kind of overwhelming. I'll share an example from my own experience. Back in 2020, when I first started doing Weight Watchers to lose weight, I was on something called the Purple Plan. And the Purple Plan allows you to eat as much of a certain list of foods as you want until you're satisfied. Not as much as you want to eat until you're so full and you've binged, but eating reasonable amounts. So you, for example, can have as much tofu or chicken or eggs or apples or lettuce or broccoli as you want. And then they give you a certain number of what they call points every week that you can use to indulge on foods that aren't on the list of as much as you want. And so naturally, you lose weight because those whole unprocessed foods are lower in calorie density. They're lower in actual calories, lower in fat, and lower in carbohydrates. And you lose weight just because you're reducing the amount of food that you're eating, even if you're indulging once or twice a week and having a cookie or some chips, something like that. You're doing it in a manageable way. So even if you're going to have Doritos, you're most likely not sitting down and eating the whole bag. You've portioned out or weighed out a serving size and you've counted it. So there's an element of control there. But what you don't realize you're doing at the same time is by increasing the amount of foods that don't have chemicals and sugar and salt added to them, you are over time changing your palate. And this really hit home for me when I moved to Japan because the food here is I'm going to say a lot more bland than the US, but I don't mean it's bland. It's just they don't really do spicy here very much. They don't salt as much, and the sugary food is a lot less sweet than in the United States. And I noticed the contrast between me and my husband. He thinks the food here tastes like nothing. Like he'll say, there's no salt in this, there's no sugar, it tastes like nothing, there's no spice, it's very bland. Whereas I can taste it. I taste that it's less sugary than if it were in the United States, but I can still taste it. And this was the first indication that really my palate has changed. And now when we use products from the United States, like for example, um, let's say a spice packet that you put on chicken and then cook the chicken, to me it is overwhelmingly salty. I can't stand it. It tastes like a salt lick, whereas my husband, it just tastes normal to him. So when I say change your palate, change your life, what I mean is by moving away from enjoying highly processed foods and foods that are produced in a lab, you're actually increasing your health because you are clearly eating more whole, unprocessed foods. So my best advice to you is as you go on this journey, just give it time because for a while the food will taste more bland to you, but know that this is in the service of long-term health. That's all I have for this week. Thanks as always for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.